What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports following a good old Thursday night football win for your Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders in a battle for the top of the NFC East. And the Eagles take this one. They win 26-18. Pretty much, I would say for 3/4 of this game, the offense was kind of putrid. It was very putrid. I don't even know why I said kind of. It was very putrid. Then they woke up in the fourth quarter. Saquon does his thing. You get also a touchdown by Jalen Hurts on the tush push as well. And even still, you kind of find a way to win this comfortably because the defense feasted the entire day. It's not like the Commanders did anything special on offense at all the entire night. I would say the only special thing they did was what Zach Ertz did on that 2-point conversion in garbage time, because that was just an amazing way to stay in bounds and maintain possession of the ball. That was fantastic there. But overall, it's not like the Commanders were doing anything spectacular. The only, touchdown that they scored, not in garbage time, was off of a muffed punt that really gave the Commanders good fieldage to go down the field. And besides that, Eagles defense did their job, kept Jaden Daniels in check. Really, the wide receivers for the Commanders were non-existent. I believe Terry McLaurin only had like one catch or two in this game. He was, not really getting anything there. It was really just utilizing Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr. the entire day. Maybe the very, small appearance from a tight end of Zach Ertz or someone else. But there was really nothing else from the offense. The defense really shut things down, and they kept the Eagles' offense basically involved through the entire time as a helicopter flies right above my house. My window is closed, but it's still loud as fuck. I hope you guys, that didn't really bother you there. But as I digress, the defense was spectacular in this game, and it gave the offense so many breaks to finally figure it out. And it just took so damn long for the offense to figure it out. But Jake Elliott, apparently this guy's washed now. He's washed now. He misses a 40, I believe it was a 44, 47-yarder, then he misses a 50-plus yarder. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And this is when the offense is going downfield. They get into Commanders' territory, and then they just stall out, whether it's taking stupid penalties, whether it's doing the worst play call design that I've ever seen in my goddamn life. What was that trick play that they even tried to do after the fake tush push, which got him a first down? I believe this was in the second quarter or something like that. I don't even know what they were trying to do. Jalen Hurts flips to the ball. I believe the Saquon flips it to Devontae. Then he flips it back to Jalen Hurts. And then Hurts basically gets sacked there. I have no idea what the fuck was going on. And there definitely was some scares because Jalen Hurts did not look right in that first half. And there were a couple of plays where he did hit his head on the turf. And he did go into the medical tent for a little bit at the end of the first half. He was fine basically the rest of the game. But there were a lot of situations where it just did not look right. I believe it was, one of the plays in the third quarter where he misses some guys wide open in the end zone, or this is actually in the second half because the Eagles definitely did get closer to the field, and Jake Elliott also missed an extra point in this game. There was just so many crazy things that happened, so many things that don't make sense, and just continue to go on the way that the Eagles just make you want to gouge your eyes out and make you want to pull hair out when you're watching 4 quarters of football, because that's just the brand they play. You just don't know what you're going to get from this offense every single week. It's literally mind-boggling. It really is. From Jake Elliott missing field goals, apparently being washed, and I guess now we got to give credit to Nick Sirianni. Maybe he was right to constantly go for it on fourth down constantly because maybe he knows his kicker is washed. I don't know. That's more of a joke than not. But Jesus Christ, Elliott. Basically, you went to a point where you couldn't trust him. But I guess Nick Sirianni stuck to his guns and kept going to Elliott instead of forcing going down, because, you were definitely in situations where you couldn't go on for it on fourth down. Jake Elliott was just fucking missing. That was the annoying part there. And then, Jalen Hurts missing some wide open guys. I believe, he missed A.J. Brown wide open a couple of times. There was a situation when he got into the red zone where you missed a couple of guys wide open. Jalen Hurts is scrambling in the pocket, running straight. And then, Devontae Smith and I believe A.J. Brown or Saquon Barkley collide into each other, but then both of them end up getting wide open on the left side of the end zone, and Jalen Hurts does not see them whatsoever, and he gets taken down. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It really just did not. But you eventually, you find a way because your defense was spectacular. Whether that was from the secondary, whether that was from your defensive front, Jalen Carter was a fucking beast today. And there was one, drive in particular where it really changed the game, where it was 2nd and inches in Eagles territory for Washington. I believe this was in the 4th quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was it was either at the end of the 3rd quarter or was at some stage of the 4th quarter, more in towards at the beginning, near halfway through the 4th quarter possibly. But it was 2nd and inches for Washington. They give it to Brian Robinson to just stuff it up, just try to get an easy first down. Jalen Carter squeaks through the interior line for Washington, finds a way to bring Brian Robinson down. And then they do it again, stuffing the run on 3rd down. It became like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 or something like that. And then Washington, for some reason, decided to go for it. This is when the Eagles, I believe, were winning 12-10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is when the Eagles were winning 12-10, if I'm not mistaken. And this is when Washington was trying to, I guess, retake the lead. And instead of going for a field goal to put them out, what was it, like 13-12 or something like that? It was 12-10 to this point. It would have been 13-12 if Washington just decided to take the points. No, they go for it on 4th and 2, and then I have no idea what the play design was. It was just completely botched up and completely stupid. I don't know why they didn't take the points, but, good tackling by Bond and everyone there to get a turnover on downs for the Commanders. And the Eagles go the other way and they score a touchdown because of it. So, hey, I guess you take what it is. And then, Jaden Daniels throws an interception right into the basket of Reed Blankenship. And then you go and score another touchdown with Saquon Barkley. So you take it for what it is. You take it for what it's worth. Your defense was spectacular tonight. Was very spectacular. I'm also not going to mention the refs. The refs were really terrible. There was a face mask for some reason. I have no idea. Like, there was a ticky-tack pass interference on Cooper DeJean, and then there was a call against Washington that should have been an obvious face mask, but for some reason the refs decided to pick the flag up. I have no idea what the hell is even going on. The refs were an utter joke, but I'm not shocked because it is the NFL, and the referees are always garbage. That's just basically what it is. They're just garbage. Completely garbage. My goodness. But, they really made you stress it out today. Really did. If you just look at the score spread throughout each quarter, no points in the 1st quarter because the Eagles offense just really couldn't figure anything out. They get 3 points before the half, so it's 7-3 after half. Then they get another field goal in the 3rd quarter. Then they score 20 points in the 4th. So their offense really found a way to break through in the 4th quarter. My God. It doesn't make sense. Jalen Hurts had a very off day. I'm not sure if there was anything related to him also getting hit in the head a couple of times when he fell to the turf. Like we said, he did go into the medical tent for a little bit there at the end of the half. So even though he came back for the sideline for the 2nd half, so it's he was fine basically the rest of the way, and he made some good plays too going the rest of the way as well. But it was just off. It looked completely weird. The defensive front for Washington was breaking through the offensive line a lot of times in the 1st half, really making it uncomfortable for Jalen Hurts. The run game really couldn't get going. They couldn't get anything established. Jalen Hurts was missing wide open guys. Jahan Dotson had a drop, which would have been a 1st down. There were just some drops that were unacceptable. There was a toe tapper that Devontae Smith catches on the sideline like 99 out of 100 times, and that was the time he drops it. It's just like, Jesus Christ. And then you see the muffed punt from the Eagles' special teams. The special teams were even weird today, and that's what allowed Washington to go down and score a touchdown. And like I said, that was really the only thing Washington really did on offense because the defense was just that spectacular today. It was really good, and that was the only way Washington scored was because of a muffed punt, which gave them good fieldage. But really stressful game in a game where I don't even know how to describe it because, like I said, this is what the Eagles are. But it's like you don't know what you're going to get on offense every single week. But then I'm also going back to it's a very short week. It's short rest, even though you did have a couple of quarters off against Dallas because that game was such a blowout as the helicopter flies above my house again. Jesus Christ, I hate that. I apologize for that. Really can't control it, though. But, yeah, short week. You had a couple of quarters off against Dallas because of the blowouts. But still, it's a Thursday night football game. Both teams are on short rest. Thursday night games are always insanely weird. You had that game last week with the Bengals and the Ravens, so that game was just an offensive explosion. Both defenses for both sides sucked last week. There's just weird shit that happens every single Thursday night football, and I guess you could just put this one down as a very, 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 very weird game. It definitely fits the mold of a Thursday night football game. Very ugly offense, even though last week offense was really flying all over the place and the defenses sucked last week for Cincinnati and Baltimore. This was more of a defenses were doing their job and the offenses really couldn't figure anything out. It was really ugly. It was really boring. It was very stressful. And it was a very close game until basically the Eagles broke it open in the fourth quarter. And the defense really just stood out through the entire game. And this is a game where it kind of defines your season a little bit, like a season-defining type of win, because this is a very important win. You moved to 8-2. It was a battle for the top of the NFC East division, even though you are in first place. You had the one less game played than the Commanders, but getting that in-division win is uber important in terms of possibly, seeding and all that stuff, winning the division and getting everything there. So that is very important in that case. But when I look at this win, and this is definitely going back to previous weeks as well, just looking at what this Eagles defense has done basically since the bye week. And granted, yes, they're playing some teams like the Browns, like the Giants, like the Bengals, the Jaguars, Cooper Rush's, Dallas Cowboys and everything like that. But also got to handle, they did play a New Orleans Saints team that was 2-0 in week 3, and they were putting up 40-plus points on the board in 2 weeks in a row. So that definitely was a tough game going into, and the defense really shut them down. What else? Yeah, the Browns, nothing special. The Giants, nothing special. But yeah, you went into Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, a really desperate, Cincinnati team. You shut that team down. The Jaguars, they came back on you late, but your defense managed to hang on through there. And then, yes, Cooper Rush's Dallas Cowboys. But the defense has stones. The defense comes to play. They make your life basically a living hell every single week, every single snap. This defense is doing literally everything possible. I believe I think they said a stat at the end of the game for the past 5 weeks. No, not the past 5 weeks. I think the past 3 or 4 games, the Eagles defense has forced 11 turnovers. So that's, even though granted they forced a lot of turnovers against the Dallas Cowboys last week, that was granted because we're playing Cooper Rush, blah, 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 blah. But, you get that turnover with the Reed Blankenship interception. You're forcing turnovers. That's basically what it is. Your defense has stones. But like I said, they're basically just being a living pain in the ass because they're coming at you with all force. Because the secondary, the very young secondary, the outside corners of Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, those guys are electric to watch. Their interior defense is getting better every single week. The linebackers are getting better every single week. Freaking Zach Bond is an absolute beast. Howie Roseman needs to extend this guy right now. Nakobe Dean is getting better week after week after week. There's just a lot of things. Josh Sweat had another sack in today's game. They're finding ways to get to the quarterback. Jalen Carter, like I said, I thought he took over this game from, just the interior defensive line because he made a lot of big plays, especially on, that play where it was second and inches and then eventually, forced the turnover on downs when Washington decided to go for it on fourth. There were a lot of things that Jalen Carter did very well. Even though, going through certain stages, it kind of looked like they were having trouble tackling Austin Eckler and all that stuff, Brian Robinson and all that stuff. But that really felt like that was the entirety of Washington's attack, where they were just force-feeding those two guys. Their wideouts really couldn't get any separation. They were basically shut down the entire game. If I just look at some of the wideouts for the Commanders, just seeing what some guys did. Austin Eckler, he had the most catches. He had 8 receptions for 89 yards. Zach Ertz had 6 for 47. John Bates had 2 receptions for 17. So that's 2 tight ends right there getting more catches than Terry McLaurin, Zacchaeus. Brian Robinson had a catch there. Noah Brown. Not many guys are getting catches here. It's basically just the tight ends and the running backs. So shut it down the wideouts. And, just looking at their run game in totality, Brian Robinson had 16 carries for 63 yards. Jaden Daniels ran the ball 7 times for 18. Austin Eckler surprisingly only carried the ball twice. He caught the ball more than, I guess he was used as a runner, so that's weird. But Jaden Daniels' night, he was 22 of 32 at 191 yards. He had the one interception. He got sacked 3 times. Comparing that to Jalen Hurts, both quarterbacks weren't really anything special in this game. Jalen Hurts, 18 of 28, 221 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks there. Saquon Barkley was just absolutely amazing, just in the scrimmage yards overall, catching the ball and running the ball. He had 26 carries for 146, 2 touchdowns there, and a long run of 39 yards for one of his touchdowns, I believe. A.J. Brown, he had 5 receptions for 65 yards. Dallas Goedert had 5 receptions for 61. Also, there was a game, this was after, I believe, Washington turned it over on downs. You're going down the field. Jalen Hurts finds Dallas Goedert wide open on the right side for a huge gain. Ball gets punched out of Dallas Goedert's hands, and Grant Calcaterra hustles and runs on the fumble, runs on the ball to make sure the Eagles don't fucking lose it. That was a game changer. That saved the game. That play right there by Grant Calcaterra saved the fucking game. I almost forgot about that. That's something that slipped my mind because so much other shit happened in this game. But Grant Calcaterra is also, his hustle to recover the fumble, it was a game savior. It really was. It really was, because then that allowed you to go back down the field, get some good runs by Saquon, some good runs by Gainwell, Jalen Hurts, and all of that. You eventually score some touchdowns, and then that led to the Reed Blankenship interception. Then you go back and score another touchdown, blah, 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 blah. It's all a butterfly effect, basically. Saquon Barkley, he had 2 receptions for 52 yards. So good stuff there. Devontae Smith had 4 catches for 29. Jahan Dotson, he was targeted twice, made 1 catch, and he dropped 1 ball as well. So he really wasn't looked the rest of the game. But just look at some of the plays from the defense. Zach Bond once again had a good game. Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Galen Carter was a beast. Cooper DeJean, like basically the entire defense today was just an absolute beast. Looking at some of the sacks today, Brandon Graham had a sack, Josh Sweat had a sack, Nolan Smith had a sack. So just overall, some really good shit today. Does kind of suck to see Jake Elliott is washed, though. That does suck to see. Maybe Nick Sirianni was right when he's constantly going for it on 4th downs. Maybe he was right. Maybe he was right, because he even fucking missed an extra point. Like, what the hell is even going on here? It doesn't make sense. My God. My God. Jesus Christ. They found a way to win, though. They found a way to win. Found a way to win, and it was a very good win. Not going to shit on Jalen tonight, even though he did make some mistakes. I've been hard on Jalen for a little bit. I definitely have, just because I know what he is capable of. That's why I'm hard on him, even though he's been playing a lot better football for the past few weeks, definitely. There's just certain things where he still does, where he hangs around in the pocket too much, where he doesn't want to throw the ball away, and sometimes, yes, when he has trouble reading the field, he misses some wide open guys. That's still a major issue there, but he still is making huge plays for you. He's making huge passes for you, so I'm just hard on Jalen because I expect a lot more of him, because I know he can be an MVP type of quarterback. That's why I'm hard on him. But he was part of the reason why the offense was struggling, but, him and the rest of the offense, they found a way. They found a way. He made plays at the end. Definitely. Whether it was with his arm, whether it was with his legs, he did some good things at the end. He definitely did. But, that's just the way this Eagles offense has been. It's just like they just find ways to make you want to pull your hair out. That's basically it there. It really is. It's just amazing how much the offense struggled through 3 quarters, and then it just completely exploded in the 4th. It just does not make sense there. So you get the field goal in the 3rd quarter. Then you get a long drive that ends in a touchdown for Jalen Hurts with the tush push. Of course, Saquon got robbed of a touchdown because he was down at the 1-yard line there. But then you forced it down. Then you get another touchdown with the Saquon Barkley run. Then the interception, another Saquon Barkley touchdown. And that's basically it. Your offense just, they woke up at the right time. That's basically it. Your offense found a way. They woke up at the right time. They definitely did. There's also a stat right here about Quinyon Mitchell that was posted by Next Gen Stats. Quinyon Mitchell, a line across from Terry McLaurin on 20 of 25 routes, 80%, including 19 of 20 aligned wide, 95%. Mitchell was not targeted on any of his coverage snaps against McLaurin and was targeted just once all night, 0 receptions allowed. Quinyon Mitchell is a goddamn beast. It really just is. Why is this helicopter constantly flying above my house? That's 3 times. That's 3 times. It's flew above my house. My God. It doesn't make sense. But other than that, good win. Good win. Even though I wanted to pull my freaking eyes out. Like I said, Washington's offense wasn't anything special today. They were terrible on 3rd down. Like, the only really successful drive they had was when it was a muffed punt. And then what would have been a successful drive and them scoring points if they chose to kick a field goal, the defense stood tall, prevented a 2nd and inches, conversion, and then just kept stuffing them. And for some reason, they decided to go for it on 4th when they should have taken the points. So, Eagles defense really stood tall. They really showed up. And personally, I think the defense is the identity of this team. Personally, I do. I still have issues with this offense on certain times because I just think you don't know. I just think there's just an unknown of what you're getting from this offense on a weekly basis. And this defense has been showing up consistently week after week after week. And that's what's been exciting about it. I think the defense is more of the identity of this team. I'm hearing bangs outside, so I have no idea what's going on there. It sounds like fireworks. But the defense is 100% the identity of this football team, in my personal opinion. And that's something we didn't expect coming into this year. Vic Fangio has done incredible work with this group of men. Incredible work. That's from the defensive front. That's from the linebackers. That's from your secondary. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Zach Bond's a beast. No one expected that. That was a great pickup by Howie Roseman. I guess they knew more than we did. Zach Bond, in a position where he's played outside linebacker, he's never played interior, and he's been insanely good. Nakobe Dean is improving week after week. What we all said was the weakest position of the Eagles team, and rightfully so, was their linebacking position. That's been one of the strengths, because those 2 guys, Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, have been fantastic. Your defensive line is getting better week after week. Jalen Carter took over, and he's still very young. He's still got a ways to go to reach his ceiling in this league. And overall, the defensive front is just a consistent mold of stuffing the run, basically. They're finding ways. And then you got your outside shutdown guys with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Those guys have just been fantastic. Quinyon Mitchell's on another level, and Cooper DeJean's just right behind him. It's fantastic stuff. And then you also get the presence, from C.J. Gardner-Johnson, from Darius Slay and all that stuff. There's a lot of great stuff there. There really just is. Reed Blankenship comes up a little bit here too, with some picks and all that. Just some good stuff overall. It's good stuff. And defensively, it's more of the identity of this team than the offense, personally. And that's something that we never expected coming into this year. But I'm very glad of that, because the Eagles were always built around their defense being the identity, even in the early 2000s. McNabb and all that stuff, Brian Dawkins, the face of the defense and everything there. The defense was always the face of the team in the early 2000s with Andy Reid and everything there. Looks like right now it's the face again, when we were never expecting that. Expecting to have a high-flying offense and a defense that just had to find a way to bend and not break. Well, the defense is doing way more than that. They're completely dominating the opposition. So, we'll see how that carries them. Right now, they're 8-2, 3-0 in the division. Right away there with the NFC East. Where are you ranking now in the league? Just overall. Or in the conference, actually. You're still in the 2 seed in the conference. Before the Lions play their game, we'll see what happens with them. Do the Lions have a bye week? No, they play Jacksonville, so that'll probably be a win for them. So we'll see what happens there. But, just good stuff there. And now that you have this win over the Commanders, that really puts you in a good position to win this division. Really good stuff there. Really good stuff there by the Birds. Trying to see if there's anything else here on the Twitterverse, just any stats that really pop up. I'm not sure if there's anything really that's anything else there that's really standing out. The one thing that was the Saquon Barkley stat. Not really seeing anything else. Here's more from James Palmer on Quinyon Mitchell. Dave Zangaro put this out on his notes before the game about Quinyon Mitchell from Football Focus. CeeDee Lamb, 1 target, 1 catch, 5 yards. Jamar Chase, 2 targets, 2 catches, 16 yards. Malik Neighbors, 2 targets, 1 catch, 9 yards. Amari Cooper, 2 targets, 1 catch, 10 yards. Mike Evans, 4 targets, 2 catches, 19 yards. Chris Olave, 2 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards. And Drake London, 2 targets, 1 catch, and 5 yards. And Terry McLaurin completely shut him down, too. Completely shut him down. Quinyon Mitchell is just getting started, and he's already dominating people. My God. Here's a tweet overall from Kevin Nagandi of ESPN. Eagles have won 6 straight. Saquon leads the NFL with most 100 yards games from scrimmage. 7-0 in A.J. Brown plays. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper Jean have been rookie stars. Zach Braun has thrived behind Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Eagles are 8-2 and number 1 in the NFC East. Love seeing it. Love seeing it, man. So good stuff overall by the Birds. Good stuff overall. So we don't have any voicemails here on the Anytime Hotline. We do have one guy here, Joe Eagles. How you doing? The refs definitely were. The refs 100% were. Oh yeah, Jalen Carter definitely was a stud defensively today. 100%. 100%. But yeah, I think that's probably the time to call it here because it is going to be a late night for me. Because I have to go edit for Brodes whenever he decides to post his video, which he's probably doing right now, recording-wise. So I'll leave you guys to that. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in, as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Appreciate you all. Also, don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.